This is a check of the car with Ben and Andrew, so let's get to it.
First part of this would be to open the hood. So how you do this is in the car, driver's seat, and there's a little lever right here, back here. Just pull that. Come around to the front. And you get one hand on the hood. And then there's a little lever you have to push over to the left. And then use your other hand to take it up. And we don't need a holding stick because this car is held up by hydraulics.
Okay, so we got the oil, the engine oil right here. And if we want to check it, we take this dipstick right here. For a good reading, just want to wipe it off. And we can check to see there's two dots, one for low, one for full. And we're going to put it back in, and there should be, the oil should be brown, should go up as close to full as possible if you want to have the best amount of oil. We're going to put it back in, maybe twist it a little bit, and then as you can see, the amount of oil is pretty good in this car. The goes up to almost to full, but we're down about a half a quart, and we'll fill that up a little bit later, but right now we're in a good position. And put it back in, but in order to make sure that your car's doing well, just gonna have to make sure it clicks so you don't have any issues when you start up the car. And if you want to fill it up, you're gonna have to twist this and then put some oil in so you can get to a good place with your car to fill it up more.
Okay, next is the power steering, and this steering fluid allows your power or your steering mechanisms in your car just to work well. If you wanted to check how much fluid you have, you could check with these lines right here, and it looks like we're doing pretty well. If you wanted to fill it up, you can just open this little yellow hatch, and you can pour some in there, and then make sure it clicks when you put it back.
So next up, we got the windshield wiper fluid, and you can check that by opening this up. And it looks like we need a little bit of fluid. So it looks like this, usually blue, and I'm gonna put a little bit in here because we're a little bit low, and that looks pretty good. Then you're gonna want to make sure it's closed. So this is very important because if your windshield's a little bit dirty, you just make sure that you have enough fluid. You can clean it off so you can see on the roads, which is very important. Next up, we're gonna take a look at the brake fluid, and the brake fluid is very important. So so your brakes work. Because if your brakes don't work, you're not going to be in a good place. You won't be able to use it, and you need to have your brakes working properly for you to be able to use the car. To check it, you just make sure you have enough. You open this up, and you got the max here, you got them in there, and you're just going to keep it up to max as much as possible so you can have a good time driving.
And so if you wanted to check your radiator fluid, on this car it's right here. And if you wanted to pour some in, you could open this little latch, and you can check how much you have by looking at this little container here. And it looks like we're doing pretty well. If you didn't have enough radiator fluid, your car would start smoking because this cools down the car, and you'd notice when you didn't have enough radiator fluid, so it's pretty important.
Okay, so we're gonna close the hood here before we check the gas. And what you're gonna want to do, two hands, push it down, not all the way, but right close to here, and then it'll go by itself. Since we don't have a stand, we're not gonna have an issue with that. And then when we go to the gas, what we're gonna want to do, because we can't open it manually, we're gonna have to press a little lever right here, and that should open the little compartment for the gas. And then it's opened. So before you go to a gas station, it will show you on the dashboard to see if you're close to empty. Don't leave it till the last minute. You don't want to, out of nowhere, go without gas and you just break down. You don't want that. So what you're going to do So you're going to move it to the left, you're going to loosen it up. Going to have it, put the pump in, and once you're done with the pump, you're going to put this back in, move it to the right, and once you hear a click, make sure that it's pushed all the way, and then you can close it, and you're good to go with the gas.
Next, we're going to show how to put on a seatbelt correctly. We're on here to the driver's seat. And to do this correctly, get this seatbelt, make sure it clicks right here, and then tighten it up. Make sure that it's good. And you don't want it too tight so it chokes you, but just comfortable enough so it goes across your chest. And this bottom part should go right across your waist or your hips. And it's a good seatbelt.
So if you're in doubt about anything, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a look at your owner's manual of the car. And if you can't get to the internet, or this is your last resort, you're still in a good place. It should be in the compartment right around here. And in this car, it is right in here. You got your handy dandy owner's manual right here, and this is your best friend. You're always gonna have it with you. So this has been a check of the car with Ben
And Andrew. And scene.